A lot of people are confused when it comes to social media, content creators, black content creators, how a lot of this stuff works. And they're running around going, oh man, I got this huge following. That don't work the way you think it works. Isaac Hayes III is the founder of Fanbase, a content creator loving app. They're in the middle of a significant raise to build this particular app. And before we get into that, Isaac, I really want people to understand, because so many people haven't seen that documentary on Netflix, Social Dilemma. They haven't seen the other different stuff, and they don't really understand the game. They don't understand that what these companies have done is sucked people into the idea of the likes. I remember you put out a video talking about reels, and I think I had put out one as well, and it was funny as hell. They were like, hey, you can earn a $1,500 bonus if you do 150 reels in a month. And I was like, say what? You think I'm about to sit here and folk be, man, I know some people, Isaac, Doc, they spend 2-3 hours putting together one reel. And I'm going, you know your ass ain't getting paid for that. And that's what we see. And then we see all these companies announcing stuff, then they pull back. So TikTok pull back the content creator stuff, Instagram pull their stuff, Facebook pull their stuff. I mean, the only real one that actually rewards content creators in terms of the legacy folks is really YouTube. But people don't understand the psychology of the game and how the whole game is to get you churning stuff out to make them money and leaving your creative black ass broke.
True. I think legacy platforms have built an enormous amount of wealth off of advertising. And for that, they need content. And they promise the visibility, the potential visibility, or the potential stardom of going viral on a social network. And so that carrot and the stick thing that they've been doing the last 7 or 8 years has a lot of content creators that have actually gone through content creator burnout. You're posting a bunch of content, it's not getting seen by everybody because they want to cap how much money you can make, which kind of forces you into this little box of what should I be making, what can I make? You're kind of playing the game in an algorithm. And so Fanbase is definitely something that we don't plan on doing that at all. We don't do that now. We never want to really, make the company function off of the way advertising manipulates the way that these platforms allow users, not even creators, just everybody on the platform to be seen and be heard. So it's unfortunate, but it's really a crossroads that we're at right now, which is the reason why, a platform like Fanbase exists.
And again, I think that people, if you don't know the business of the business, and so many of these people, they're the show in the business. Just this ain't no different for a lot of these black content creators than the black content creators in the music business, than the black content creators in television and in Hollywood. Baby, you the show, they're the business.
Yeah, and my design by that purpose and my reason for building a platform is to be the business, is to actually make everybody the business. Everybody on Fanbase is a business. And there's not a person that doesn't download the app that doesn't have the ability to receive revenue and be monetized. So you can post content for free if you want to, or you can post content and put it behind paywalls and monetize. We have, hundreds of thousands of users that have downloaded the app and used the app, and tens of thousands, if not more, who monetize like significantly month over month. And I think that's important because I want to turn everybody that is on social media into a business if they so choose, because people are losing jobs. It's getting a little tough out here. And I want people to find other ways to make money. And you can make a lot of money by simply just posting the same content you would post on a platform like Instagram or TikTok on Fanbase. You can make some money.
And so, again, I want to stay on the business of the business, because with this raise that you're doing, you're providing a window. You're providing an opportunity for people, whether they're black or not, where ordinarily they would not get. A lot of folks don't realize that Jeff Bezos made a ton of his money, not from Amazon, but by giving $250,000 to the folks at Google and wanting in early stage. That's where a lot of his money first came from, and the money later came from Amazon. And so very few people get access on the ground level or early stage for a lot of these platforms to be able to invest. And so you see, now even though any fool who's buying Donald Trump stock for True Social got to be stupid because you're just getting fleeced, what you have here is an opportunity for us to actually, on the front end, early, invest in a product and watch that thing grow. And then as it goes and becomes $500 million valuation, $1 billion, $2 billion, then that initial investment grows 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times, whatever the multiple is going to be.
Absolutely. Let me put some numbers out here. Facebook has a market cap of $2.2 trillion. TikTok is about $180 billion application, an app. So these platforms, these social media apps that we use all the time become these enormous monsters, these titans of wealth. But typically, Black people or just people that are not accredited investors who are already rich never get a chance to own them. So the difference in being an investor in Fanbase is you're not a retail investor like post IPO. So when you think of purchasing stock, like going on the stock market, buying shares in these companies that are publicly traded, that is not this. This is around, these are the opportunities that exist before the public, the general public ever really gets to know about it. So these are these ground floor, ground level investments. And so Fanbase is raising $17 million. We're raising $17 million in a Reg A on a platform called StartEngine. I've been on the program quite a few times, but I want people to know that this is significant because it's going to allow us to scale Fanbase faster and quicker and build. So the opportunity that most people don't get to invest in early stage companies. So I said, if you ever thought you wanted to invest in Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat or Facebook or YouTube and had an opportunity to, then Fanbase is your opportunity to do that. That's why I'm wearing this shirt right now. That's why I tell everybody to go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. The minimum to invest is $399. And what makes that significant is when you are typically an accredited investor, you enter these pre-seed rounds, the buy-ins are $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 minimum to get in. And so to be able to say, oh, I can purchase some shares in a thriving tech company, this is something that we've already raised $10 million up to this point, and the company's valued at $160 million. So this is the company on the way up that I tell people all the time. I see Fanbase as a $100 billion company eventually, and we're just valued at $160 million. And what's important about that is that when we exit this company, either through an IPO or an acquisition, the people that got in early are going to be able to see a significant return on their investment. And I preach that to everybody, and especially our culture, because like I was talking about venture capital. Venture capital is all but stalled out completely. And especially for the Black community, it's almost a little under 0.5% of all venture capital went to Black startups last year. And this year is going to be less. And so there's no really opportunity for people like myself who have great products to be able to scale our businesses, except coming to the community and say, look, you guys can invest for $399, get 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share, and hold on to that and take a ride with us all the way to the end of our journey. It's extremely important. This raise is probably the most critical raise that we've ever done, because as fast as we raise this capital, the faster I can scale this company. We have some amazing partners that have come on board. Earn Your Leisure. I was just at EYL yesterday. They're coming on Fanbase. We got Aaliyah Janelle. We got a couple other. Aaliyah Janelle is actually a choreographer that works with Beyonce and did the Renaissance tour making exclusive content. And there's a lot of other creators. But aside from that, the 600,000 plus people that are part of Fanbase, they use it every day, that are making money just using the platform. Normal people just like you that are monetizing, getting love, and having the opportunity to do that. So this is significant. And I think with regulation crowdfunding, like what I'm able to do, you wouldn't be able to do this without the opportunity to raise on platforms like StartEngine. So I'm grateful to be on platforms like this and be able to raise capital this way.
And that's one of that's one of the things that happened during the presidency of Barack Obama. You mentioned market cap, and so the folks at Motley Fool, they put this out. I just want people to understand from a technology standpoint. We talk about how these social media tech companies dominate in this country. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of Microsoft. The folk who got stock in Microsoft in 1975, the market cap today is $3.13 trillion. That's a hell of a lot of money. Apple founded 1 year later. It's 48 years old. And remember, Apple, when Steve Jobs got fired, Apple stock dropped real low. It wasn't worth, I think it may have got down to $1 or even less. But guess what? It's now at $2.65 trillion. So yeah, I'm sitting here right now with 2 iPhones, 3 iPads, got a Mac Mini in this control room, 2 Mac Mini at home, a MacBook Pro. So help contribute that. Why am I saying all of that? So I've spent thousands of dollars on Apple product, but the question is, are we spending money on Apple stock? And so when the phones get upgraded, you go get a new one, but that stock just keeps going up and up. Go back to my iPad. NVIDIA, a new company founded in 1993, they're processing units, $2.26 trillion. Saudi Arabian oil, $1.98 trillion. Google, $1.89 trillion. They were founded in 1998. And then, of course, Amazon, founded in 1994, market cap $1.87 trillion. Facebook, $1.24 trillion, founded in 2004. Berkshire Hathaway, when they were founded, Eli Lilly, we can go on and on and on. But the bottom line is this here. The reality is black people can actually help make Fanbase just as big as a lot of these other tech companies out here. Because the reality is we also did it to Facebook and to Google and the Clubhouse and the Microsoft and the Apple. I mean, we could go on and on and on. We set trends. And when you talk about creating content and dances and all that sort of stuff, man, we are damn good at that. But again, we are the show and somebody else is getting paid off the business. This is an opportunity where if you don't want to create content, you can still invest in Fanbase. And while the other folks are creating content and the membership is, the followers is going up, look, your stock, what you purchase goes up as the valuation increases as well. So you don't have to be on the app creating stuff. You could just invest.
Yeah. Well, let me say this,
and that was a question from my 77-year-old dad. He turned 77 April 25th, because he was like, look, I ain't trying to make no damn dance videos. So can a brother just invest and not have to make some content? So that was a question from my daddy, who literally texted me during the show. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Let me say this. We have to ask the question, and this is a question that was asked on EYL, will the next billion-dollar social media platform be black owned? And we've never really had one, except we know the value that black culture and youth culture bring to social media platforms. Also, if you look at black spending power in 2023, I think it's $1.6 trillion of spending power. And a good portion of that goes to luxury items and non-essentials.
Yep.
So we're purchasing a lot of things. We have a lot of buying power, but are we investing and then actually helping build these companies to be these mega titans? Because these kids, grandkids, other people's grandkids, other people's children are going to college and having legacy and generational wealth off the fact that you're on a platform making viral videos and increasing the value of a company that then they can eventually go public and sell. And so we have to be deliberate about this. This is a very critical time. I say this we haven't been here before. You cannot name a social media platform that is black founded, that's made for every single person on the planet, that's raised $10 million already, that's allowed the general public to invest, that has over 600,000 users, that has all the functionality of TikTok, Instagram, Clubhouse, YouTube combined, and you can monetize and make money on the front end and have equity on the back end. We've never been here before. I don't think people understand how serious, how groundbreaking this is. I know that raising capital through equity crowdfunding sometimes has looked easy. This is extremely hard. The amount of due diligence and compliance that we've had to go through as a company for the SEC, even the fact that this is a harder raise to do because I'm only limited to being able to do amazing programs like yours. But before, I could get on the radio, I could get on TV and talk about the raise, and it's a little bit different. So this is these are the only mediums where we really have a chance to connect with people and give them the opportunity to invest. And so it's a little bit more difficult, but I don't doubt the fact that we'll raise what we need to raise. It's how fast. And so the velocity that we're able to raise the capital. And I tell everybody, go to startengine.com/fanbase, tell your friends, $399. If you don't have any more than that, that's fine. I'm not telling people to break the bank, but if you want to invest more, you can. There's no limit to the amount of money that you can invest. And I tell people that sooner we invest, sooner that we close this round, the faster we actually scale the company, which is the purpose of this raise, because I've been able to build Fanbase over the last 3-4 years relatively well, but I'm ready now. We're a scale business. We're not a startup anymore. Now we're in scale mode. And so again, that venture capital is so dry that I want to give the opportunity for the general public to take this ride along with us to $1 billion company. And so that's why I tell everybody, make sure they invest and become part of this journey.
Pound got some questions, Rebecca.
Hey, let's talk about the user experience. Isaac, I just saw that you listed there's some new features. Can you talk about the ability to take content on other social media platforms and the ability to now upload it to Fanbase?
Yeah, so part of the reason that we're even raising this capital, we filed 8 patents. One of those is for a content migration program, right? And so basically on Fanbase, you can actually take all the content that is on Instagram and import it over to Fanbase. All your captions, all your photos, all your videos, up to 2,000 posts. So you're not starting from scratch. Starting a new social media platform is very, very hard. And so I didn't want people to feel like, oh my God, I got to upload all this stuff from one platform to another platform. So I wanted to give people the opportunity to have a fresh start and not feel like they got to start from the bottom. And so you can import your TikTok content or your Instagram content inside of Fanbase, following a couple prompts inside of settings, and then import your content over. And that's a patent that we actually filed. And again, to file these patents and protect the IP that we created, that's one of the cool functionalities and features that Fanbase has.
Robert.
I just signed up for my Fanbase account while we were sitting here talking, so I'll be uploading some more content on there.
Robert gonna have a lot of gun videos, Isaac.
Hey, that's after the election.
He gonna have a lot of gun videos.
Okay.
Later on, we'll get to that. I'll show people how to assemble a P80 kit real quick. Yeah, but with that, one of the things I've noticed with TikTok is they are so easily discoverable on search engines. If you type in pretty much anything, the first 5 or 6 video results are now, instead of being YouTube videos, now they're TikTok videos. Is there SEO features and other metadata features that will help have Fanbase posts as easily discoverable as other social media sites?
Yeah, so I think we're entering something called the engagement era. I know that the previous generation of social media was more about following, and now it's more about engagement. And so I think people want to be seen, which is not a problem. And actually at Fanbase, we want people to be seen. So I'm focusing less on following and more on engagement. So I want somebody to be able to have 100,000 followers and get 1 million views on the video, rather than have 1 million followers and get 100,000 views on the video, which is happening on these other platforms like Instagram now. And so with this raise, we're able to actually beef up and build a better search engine and algorithm, because again, I want content discoverable. Everything is going to be engagement first. We're refactoring our feed. We're doing a lot of building for the future, because all these other platforms have some functionality that a lot of young people, Black people, contributed to the DMs and talking about retweets and all these things, all these inventions that come on these social media platforms. These companies don't build these things. They listen to the culture, and the culture says build that. So with us raising this capital, we'll be able to build those types of things. Those search engines, we already have one now. There's an algorithm that exists now for our functionality in the platform, but now we're moving into the era of AI and discoverability and a lot of other things. And so again, these raises, especially this raise, is super critical in how we're able to scale the business. And so I'm very proud of the company that we built. I'm extremely proud of the team that we have and the success that we have. But now it's time for someone that is Black to actually build a social network that everybody on the planet can use, but the return on the investment, the return of the wealth from a generational standpoint goes to the people that look like us, that contribute to social media like us. And so that's why this is important. I tell anybody to do your research. We've never been here before. The closest we've ever been is Black Planet, and that sold for $40 million a few years ago. And Fanbase is already valued at $160 million. And so even the founders of Black Planet were like, they didn't even get a lot of money from building that company up and selling it. My thing is that I want to build wealth for the people that are actually invested in the company. You know, Bob Johnson created the most millionaires ever when he sold ET. And at some point, Fanbase is going to exit through a liquidity event, which is an IPO or an acquisition or a merger. And I want to shatter that record that Bob Johnson had. I want to create multiple Black millionaires. I'm tired of us not being able to really, you know, leverage technology and culture in a wealth building manner, as opposed to the few people that get famous on social media. We have some amazing social media celebrities and stars, but the bottom line is there's a vast, huge majority of people that contribute to social media, and they deserve an opportunity to own it and use it at the same time. And so Fanbase is the only platform where you can do that right now. We've been very successful at that. So I tell everybody again, on my shirt, I don't know if you can see it again, go to startengine.com/Fanbase. And the minimum to invest is $399. And then make a profile if you want to. But if you just want to be an investor, please, you do not have to use Fanbase to invest in Fanbase. It's not that. It's a free app to download and use. But I want people to invest in this platform and own it. This is like my call, especially in a program like this, to the Black community to say, look, invest, invest, invest. Invest in this app, get some equity, become part of this community, become part of everything that we're building, and join us along this ride.
Julian.
Oh, thank you, my brother. This is amazing. I'm on your site right now, and we'll join and we'll invest. It's very, very exciting, and it's especially exciting for me as an elder who is somewhat. Roland can tell you stories about what I cannot do. Tech challenged. My nephew told me, stop saying that, just learn how to do it. I'm like, shoot, I tried to take a picture while I was on the phone, and I dropped the phone. Hey, Roland, you know how bad I am about this stuff. But this is an answer to my prayers for a number of reasons. My young people keep saying to me, Doc, how come you're not doing this, 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 or this? And I'm like, I don't have time. I'm not trying to create content. But I do have this book, 365 Days in Black Economic History. And one of my visions is to have a vignette for each day of Black economic history. And this seems like the exact place where I would want to do it. But also getting in on the ground floor. I don't know how many times I've looked at IPOs and said, shoot, I wish I could have gotten into that. By the time you get to it, you know, if you have those people who hook you up, you could get in there early and you put a few thousand in and you end up with a million or less, but you end up with a lot of money. And we've never really had that opportunity to get in on the ground floor. And that's what this is all about. Predatory capitalism keeps us in silos. So content creators have not yet been able to monetize their content in ways that are long-standing. I know some people that if you advertise someone, they give you so many dollars per click or so many pennies per click or something like that. This seems to be so much more comprehensive than that. So what I'd like you to do for me is to make a pitch to my generation. You know, I'm a baby boomer, proudly so. We tend to, I didn't do, Bitcoin. Ain't trust it, didn't do it. A bunch of my friends lost money. You know, I don't believe that losing and money are two words that do not belong in the same sentence. And it just seemed to be a little risky to me. So make a pitch to my generation and tell us why we as elders need to support you. I'm already there, bro. I'm already there. I'm on your thing on one thing, and I'm on B of A on the other. How much can I afford to invest? So, but anyway, give me the pitch for the old folks.
Well, let me tell you this. The accredited investor rule was a rule that existed since 1933 until 2015. So basically it meant no matter your color, no matter your age, race, whatever, you had to be a rich person to be able to invest in these early stage companies. So a lot of those companies that Roland showed earlier, the Microsofts, the Googles, the Apples of the world, those companies were started with money from already rich people because there was a rule that said you had to have $1 million worth of net worth minus your primary residence or make over $200,000 a year for 2 consecutive years. That goes back to 1933. So from 1933 to 2015, if you were not rich, you didn't get the call to say, hey, put a little bit of money into this company that's launching, it's building, because in the future, it's going to be a valuable company. So Barack Obama and Joe Biden signed this law called the Jobs Act into law, and basically it wiped out the accredited investor rule. So it gave the ability for anybody, no matter their income, right, or their net worth, to be able to purchase and invest in early stage companies like Fanbase. This is significant because equity crowdfunding has been around for a long time, but I'm a tech company. So I'm building something and have built something that is like Facebook, that is like Google, that I'm in the tech sphere. And so tech is the fastest way to build wealth in this country. When you look at a platform, a company like NVIDIA, how they are such $1 trillion company and extremely fast in what they're doing with AI, these opportunities didn't exist before 2015. So it's relatively new. And so I tell people that don't understand that, especially people that look like us, when we have this little bit of extra capital that we can invest and become part of these platforms, become part of those stories that you hear somebody exit and they say, oh yeah, my friend was part of this company and they just went public and he made 20 million or 100,000 or 400,000 or so, whatever. This is what Fanbase gives you the opportunity to do. And so I say, look, we have a lot of wealth. We have a lot of money in the Black community that we just spend on a lot of stuff. And here's another thing that I think is extremely important. Before the accredited investor rule, or before the accredited investor rule, nobody had a problem with anybody in your age group going to spend $5,000 on lottery tickets. Somebody's probably spending $5,000 on lottery tickets right now is going to lose tonight. And they could have put $5,000 in the Fanbase, right? Or you can go to Vegas and gamble $5,000 and lose all your money. It wasn't illegal to do that. But oh my God, God forbid that you gamble on Apple. God forbid that you gamble on Facebook. No, we can't let you do that. I mean, that's the importance. Like one of the seed investors in Uber, Orrin Michaels, please research this. He put $5,000 into Uber in 2010. When the company went public in 2019, his $5,000 was worth $24 million. And you never heard about it because it was illegal in 2010. And Orrin Michaels was already a rich guy. He was a millionaire. So imagine a millionaire being able to take $5,000 and put it into a company and then turn it into $24 million 9 years later. That's the kind of opportunity that exists with equity crowdfunding combined with tech. And I think that's the important thing. There's a lot of people that are raising different things for different types of stuff on equity crowdfunding platforms. But this is a tech company that you can actually own, and then the users of the platform, by using it, actually increase the value. So my pitch is buy some shares for yourself, buy some shares for your children or your grandchildren, and then tell your grandkids to get on Fanbase, because I built this platform to be around for the next 20, 25 years. And so when they're 25, 50 years old, they'll be like, oh, Fanbase is the old app, but it is as valuable as Facebook. So I won't mind being the old guy in the tech space with a platform that is worth $500 billion, $300 billion. And so I tell everybody, we have to take this opportunity to do this. It's extremely valuable that we go ahead and do this. So that's my pitch to you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to invest. And this is something important too. I know a lot of people watch your show, Roland, but I always do the math, right? And so $17 million is our target goal. And so $17 million is roughly about 28,000 people investing $600. So think about that. There's 40 million Black people in the United States of America, right?
Right.
All I need just from the Black community is 28,000 people investing $600, and we get $17 million.
Can you send me a tutor, please? I'm going to get on there, but I need a tutor.
It's extremely important, though. I'm telling you, I don't, Roland, I thank you, because I think Roland understands this. With what Roland is doing with Black Star Network, this is about media, technology, like the value that's contained within this network and the ability that Roland has to be able to speak to our community. I'm doing this on the social media scale with Fanbase.
Yep.
And there's video on demand and stuff, things that we're building. And we're happy to have our guys over at Earn Your Leisure become part of the platform as well. And they'll be bringing content over there too. So we're going to scale this thing, but I just want to bring us along for the ride.
And for everybody to understand, I am an investor. I invested in the first round, understood it, saw it, because again, we spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff, but that's all we end up having is stuff. and that
Right.
thing doesn't grow. People have heard me say all the time, "Hey, don't buy your kids, the latest pair of Air Jordans or LeBron James Nike. Buy them Nike stock, because guess what?
Exactly.
Michael Jordan is now a billionaire, not because he bought the NBA team. He a billionaire because a bunch of us bought a whole bunch of them shoes, and he got 5% of that Jordan brand, and that's how he became a billionaire." He got 5%. Nike got the other 95, and he still became a billionaire. And so that's why what I keep saying, I need us to focus on the business and not just the show. And when you talk about the platform, listen, we're able to generate money on YouTube, but let's just say, look, things happen, whatever the heck. The reality is we could move, again, people understand, but we have a platform. We could literally move this show solely to Fanbase. Folks contribute on Fanbase to be able to generate revenue for the show. We have to understand that. Too many content creators. I'm tired of hearing y'all complain about how you're not getting respected, you're not getting paid. It's because you're giving away your stuff for free. And Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram, all these cats, they own you. Elon Musk is talking all this crap about Twitter, how it's just blowing up. That's to make him money. This is an opportunity for us, again, to finally, and we can't say, man, I wish somebody told you. This is probably Isaac's 6th time on the show. We've been telling y'all, this is the opportunity for us. Let's teach our kids the same thing, to understand the business of the business. And so go to startengine.com/fanbase to get more details. Folks, let's make this happen. Let's own Black people, OWN. And I ain't talking about Oprah's network, which she don't own anymore. Warner Discovery owns it. Again, Isaac, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a bunch.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media and investment. This next generation social app has already raised $10 million and has just opened a new round to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.